going up against this man, the man who became U.S. champion at Starrcade, Jesse Ventura, Stunning Steve.
Stunning Steve. He followed through. Colonel Rob Parker got him the match, and Stunning Steve followed up and scored what many people consider an upset over the natural Dustin Rhodes. There he is, the new U.S. heavyweight champion, Stunning Steve. You can bet the Colonel's going to buy a lot of chicken now.
Well, you never know what. And, well, you see the Stinger fans out ready to go as the U.S. champion makes his way into the ring looking great and looking confident as always. Should be a great matchup as the fans, many of them, erupt and get ready for the entrance of the one and only WCW superstar, the most popular. It is Sting. Tell you what, Sting is no stranger to Stunning Steve Austin. They have faced each other before. This time it is a special challenge match, and it's exclusively here on Saturday night.
That's true, but Sting has never faced Stunning Steve under the tutelage of Colonel Parker.
You're right about that. We will have Sting and Stunning Steve, the main event on WCW Saturday night, in its entirety, right after this timeout on TBS. The bell sounds, and here we go. Jesse, what do you think about this match? What do you think Sting's got to do? What do you think Stunning Steve's got to do? Both very similar athletes.
Well, it's a great matchup because you can see they're both about the same height, they're both about the same weight, and they both got about the same wrestling ability. So it's a flip of the coiner, Tony. Either guy, if things go right, could win it. No doubt about it. This is one of those games like an NFL football game where you got two equal opponents. Whoever gets the momentum at the right time and makes the right move will win the match.
From the neutral position now, if you're looking for a power advantage, automatically you would think Sting, but that's not really the case.
No, I think both of them are about equal in all ways. There you see Stunning Steve trying a little psych-out job. He does the Stinger scream there for a second in front of him.
You know, you talked about that Sting never faced Stunning Steve under the tutelage of Colonel Parker, that being a factor. Another factor is the fact Stunning Steve has to be riding a real high wave right now. After defeating Dustin Rhodes in Charlotte, 2 straight falls at our recent Starrcade, certainly any momentum or anything going his way, Stunning Steve certainly is right on target. Side headlock.
Yeah, but the thing is, the Stinger's always on top of his game. I don't think he needs motivation on a nightly basis.
Top wrist lock, the show of power here, both men, and now being driven back to the ropes.
And we get a clean break out of it. Look at the Colonel out there jawing with the referee right away.
Lion Bryant, a chicken suit out earlier, talking about Colonel Rob Parker, calling him Foghorn, having something to say about Colonel Rob Parker and Lion Bryant's win a little bit earlier on in this program. And what we got here?
And I'll bite, Tony. Where do you go to buy a chicken suit?
I don't know.
I mean, you know, Macy's, Bloomingdale's, what do you go in, the chicken suit department?
The chicken suit department, I guess. One thing about
or you go to San Diego.
Maybe so.
They might have a surplus of chicken suits out there.
A reversal.
Stinger with the hammerlock on Stunning Steve, the newly crowned U.S. heavyweight champion.
Whoa, and he goes to the ropes. Sting kicked him away. And Steve quick to get back in. But then thought better of it. I tell you what, you got to give it to Colonel Parker. He's cooling him down.
I'm waiting for the day the Colonel lights that cigar. So far, he just chews on him.
Well, there's a smoking ordinance here, and he really can't do that. Fans are after Colonel Rob Parker. Fans, briefly, don't forget, like Mean Gene told us, Too Cold and Bagwell to face Roma and Orndorff next week in a return match from Starrcade next Saturday, 6:05 Eastern Time. Wow, what a match is going to be on Saturday night.
I can shock you tonight, Tony. I now support all those smokers out there.
You do?
Absolutely. I encourage them to smoke. Somebody's got to pay for our health care.
A side headlock. Sting holding on to Stunning Steve. So far, it's been basically a stalemate between two of WCW's top athletes.
Well, I didn't expect anything different. You got a feel-out process here. They're both going to see what the other one's got going for him. Stinger with the side headlock and takeover. And the Colonel says he pulled the hair.
Sting keeping the champion down to the mat, and Sting, I think, deliberately has slowed this pace down. A very excited, a very happy, a very momentum-driven Stunning Steve Austin was coming into the ring, and Sting just deliberately has slowed this pace down. Over the top, side headlock takeover.
But Stunning Steve with a good reversal into a head scissors.
You can hear Colonel Rob Parker on the outside. And the head scissors still on. A good look at Stunning Steve, the U.S. heavyweight champion. That certainly puts him in line down the road, Jess, for a shot at Nature Boy Ric Flair. But as we heard from Harley Race earlier on, Vader is looking for revenge from the new world champion Ric Flair.
And let's not forget about Ravishing Rick Rude laying out there too with a championship belt.
That's right. He's a contender to Ravishing Rick Rude as well. Side headlock takeover. Head scissors applied. And Sting, who is always one of the top contenders to the world titles in World Championship Wrestling.
And there goes the chant, KFC.
The fans are on him. Oh, still holding on to Sting, using the knees and the calves up against the ears. Look at that counter move by the U.S. champ. 1, 2, Sting bridging out of it nicely. Reversal. Steve trying to backslide, but who's going to get the leverage? It's going to be Sting. 1, 2. I think the difference that time, Jess, was that Sting dropped to his knees to get the man over.
Absolutely. Sting had the leverage advantage. He got down underneath Stunning Steve and was able to give the backslide and block Stunning Steve's backslide. There you see the Colonel chomping on that Cuban stogie. Never one not to have plenty of advice.
He's handed me about 5 or 6 of those since he's arrived here.
They're about $24 a piece, Tony.
They're good ones.
You're not throwing them away, are you?
Absolutely not.
Or does Lois smoke them?
Sting now. Maybe when I'm not home. In the corner. Shoulder block. Nowhere for Sting to go, and Stunning Steve just drilling him now. There's a big forearm shot. Steve, one thing about Stunning Steve, one of the things that's led to his championship reign is the fact that he knows how to execute blows. High impact blows or wrestling holds. Look at that, right on target, Stunning Steve.
And then does a little magical film work there on the Stinger. Let's not forget one other guy who's looking for Stunning Steve. We had him on just earlier, Flying Brian.
Yeah, he's looking for Stunning Steve and Colonel Parker, like he said. Wants to put him in that chicken suit. Side headlock. Fans, big announcements. Look at this. 1, 2, a 2 count. Big announcements next week concerning our Clash of the Champions coming your way on January 27th, live from Baton Rouge in the Centroplex. Right down on the river there. 2 count. In the capital of Louisiana.
Look at the intensity on the Colonel's face.
Got to give him a lot of credit. He's always in the matches, isn't he?
He goes through a lot of those handkerchiefs, too, throughout the week.
He sure does.
Mopping his brow with it, as you see. Stunning Steve rolling the Stinger into a cradle position. Stinger rolls it back into the side headlock. Good, solid wrestling right here by both the U.S. champion and the most popular man in WCW, the Stinger.
Now they're back up. Nick Patrick checking in. The side headlock is legal. Grinding the bone of the forearm in the side of the head around the ear of Stunning Steve. And Stunning Steve counters, picking Sting up.
Sets him on the top buckle and hits him. Second time to the abdominal area. 3 shots and then a shot to the head. And now Stunning Steve says, the heck with wrestling. He's going to start roughing it up at this point.
Yeah, he had him caught in the corner. I want to make sure that Sting was dazed so he could go up top and maybe execute a superplex or something from the middle turnbuckle here, and that's exactly what he's going for, a superplex. Had to soften him up first. He did, and he brings him down. Oh, what a move.
That hurt both of them. I don't care what it is. You get up on that buckle and do a superplex. Both guys get jarred in that move. The top guy, of course, a lot more.
Now Stunning Steve driving the knees into the arm of Sting. And Stunning Steve back to the wrestling techniques here. The U.S. champion.
You know how I can always tell how rough the bout is for the Stinger? You watch the paint slowly deteriorate off his face.
Yeah, and it did in that real rough match he and Hawk had against the Nasty Boys. That's Starrcade.
I'll tell you what, a right hand that Missy Hyatt threw on Hawk, huh?
Wow.
Outside the ring, remember that one, Tony?
A lot of feeling behind that right hand. Twisting on the arm.
Lois ain't never smacked you like that, has she?
2 count. I would never tell you if she did.
You couldn't tell me if she did.
And Stunning Steve now driving the knee to the arm. Stunning Steve looking sharp here, the U.S. champion. Our main event against Sting here on Saturday night. No main event telecast tomorrow night. Back with you next Sunday on the 9th of January.
And again, we'd like to tell everybody Happy New Year as 94 comes in, and plenty of things going to happen in World Championship Wrestling in 1994.
You're right. Sting now, look at this. He's going right to the head. Once again, connecting, knocking Steve right away from the arm with a right hand.
Stunning Steve. Whoa, and the overcompensated. The Stinger with a cover. Overcompensated, I should say.
Yes, Sting's hurting too as well. That arm is hurting, but he's fighting Stunning Steve off. A great Sting trademark. He may be hurt, he may be down, but he's always going to fight. And you hear it now from Nick Patrick, a warning to Stunning Steve. Sting is caught in the corner. Oh, a big forearm shot. Pounding away again goes Sting.
And Sting hammering his way out of the corner. Big right hand. Down goes Stunning Steve hard. Another one.
Sting coming back, mounting a comeback here, but no, Stunning Steve. Hits hard.
Big backdrop, another right hand.
Sting pounding away at Stunning Steve, right hand. Steve goes down. And now Sting with the bad arm looking towards Colonel Parker. Flying Brian has come out.
Flying Brian's chasing the Colonel.
Sting has him rolled up. Flying Brian and he hits Stunning Steve, and that's going to call for the disqualification.
I'll tell you what, Flying Brian let his emotions get in the way. Look at, here's the Stinger setting up for the Scorpion Deathlock. It's all over, though. Flying Brian's caused him to get disqualified. He let his emotions get in the way, Tony.
And the referee telling Sting, no, do not hook on the Scorpion Deathlock. Stunning Steve is going to win this match.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the match as a result of a disqualification, Stunning Steve Austin.
And Flying Brian.
DQ for outside interference.
There you go, outside interference. Flying Brian had the chicken suit earlier, went out towards Colonel Parker. He hit Stunning Steve on the way through, and that caused the disqualification. Well, what a match that was.
Well, I'll tell you what, if I was the Stinger, I wouldn't be so pleased with Flying Brian.